Welcome to the Realist tax roll class. We're going to go into the system. I do want to make sure you guys know all of the benefits of why you should use Realist. For example, it is a tax roll program. What that does is it pulls information directly from the county. Other services that do that is also IMAP, RPR, as well as Remind. What are the benefits of looking at the information that comes directly from the county? We can look at currently the information directly from the tax roll, including taxes, how much the current homeowner is paying for taxes. We can also see if the owner is an absentee owner. What we can try to do is focus on those absentee owners in order to generate mailing labels and see if they want to maybe sell their property. Realist also has another amazing filter, which Remind also has, by the name of Sell Score. What that's going to allow you to do is scan an area and find possibly the next set of homeowners that might sell their property within the next year. So we want to make sure that I cover that so you guys have access to how to find that information. And there's brand new reports that came out this year for Realist that is going to help you whenever you're working directly with a for sale by owner. A lot of us target those for sale by owners to try to convert them as one of our customers. So there's going to be amazing reports that is now officially available in Realist, where we can kind of say, hey, to that homeowner that wants to try to sell their property on their own, we can say, look at the data. If you list with me, according to the information in your local zip code, your property, if you list with me, is going to sell at roughly around this price versus if you try to go off on your own. One of the reports is going to show listing data versus off-market information. So I want to make sure that I show you guys all of that and much, much more this morning. Now, all of our services, they have a unique landing page. So for example, you want to have all of the information based on the benefits of why you should use any of our programs. All you have to do is go to miamirealtors.com/ whatever the name of that product is. So for example, where am I right now? I'm on the Realist page. You can get there by going to miamirealtors.com/realist. If you want to see all of the information for Matrix, including handouts, you would go to miamirealtors.com/matrix. If you want to see all of the member benefits for RPR, you go to miamirealtors.com/RPR. I think you guys pretty much get the swing of that. All right, so in these landing pages, it gives you on the right side of the page how to access these services. Yes, most of our services, you do access them within the Miami Gateway. You do access them that way, but some of them may require for you to go to the product's website in order to generate an account. Always be sure to access the information that you see here on the right side of the page. Further down on this page, and I did put it into chat, you also have a section that tells you exactly why you should use the service. For example, it's a little more than a tax roll program. So we're going to be able to get all of the information pertinent directly from the county, but there's also listings that we could search that are also in Matrix and available within the Realist system. So why is that a benefit? Some of those client print views in Matrix, they're a little bland, if you will. But if you find a property, right, a buyer reaches out to you, maybe they find the property on Zillow or realtor.com, and they say, hey, can you provide me with a little bit more information on that listing? If it's listed in the MLS, you can pull it up in Realist and provide a beautiful detailed report for your buyer. All right, so I wanted to make sure to mention that. There's also property-centric data. I am going to focus on that, as well as the advanced map option where we can search for foreclosures, bank-owned property, etc., using the map overlays. And there's also a brand new market analysis and market trends report that I'm going to go over with you guys as well. And Realist has their very own average valuation module. This one's going to be based on closed listings according to the MLS and also closed listings according to county record. What is an AVM? That's just simply Realist coming up with a valuation on how much they believe the property in the MLS is worth. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started, guys. Again, go ahead and go into this page when you get a chance. On the right, there's a bountiful amount of tutorials, including Realist tutorials, how to search, how to customize your grid. I'm going to discuss all of this today, but you have these resources here, the property detail report, the map tools, labels, and exports, and of course, the other reports that are also built into Realist. If you want to access how to generate those, you have a little click here option on the right side of the page. All right, without further ado, guys, I'm super excited. I want to show you all of the upgraded features that are now available for us within the Realist system. So I'm going to go to the main website, miamirealtors.com. I'm going to move down on the left, and then I'm going to click on the Miami Gateway. All right, now, again, my name's Tyson Haynes. I've been with the board for roughly around 9 years, and during my time with the board, sometimes you can get lost in the mirage of all of the different products and services that we offer. So I want to give you guys a quick little tip, because you never know. Sometimes the time can be of the essence whenever you're working directly with a customer. You never know. You may have a customer that says, hey, I need that exclusive buyer's agreement or that exclusive seller's agreement today. I need you to send that to me as soon as possible. So don't get lost in these buttons. Make sure that you take advantage of a quick little search tip that is available in your keyboard. So for example, if you're a PC user, you could hit Control F on your keyboard. If you're a Mac user like me, you could hit Command F. And what that does is it brings up a search bar in the top right corner. I can go ahead and tell the system, locate Realist. Go ahead and type in Realist in that search bar. Again, PC users, Control F. If you're a Mac user like me, it's Command F. You type in the name of the service, and here's what's beautiful about it. It's going to highlight that service so that you can quickly gain access into it. Now, before we jump into the Realist platform, I want to first make sure I mention how integrated Realist is within the CoreLogic Matrix MLS system. So we're going to jump in there real quick. So if you're ever doing a search, for example, you find a property for your buyer. Let me go ahead and look at something that has been listed for a little while within the MLS. All right, so for example, you have the listing pulled up and you want to send a report on this property directly to your customer. You're going to notice that there's a little money sign symbol that is the Realist tax roll button. Again, this is available whenever you're searching in the MLS, both when you're looking at the listing by itself or whenever you're in the grid. You also have access to the Realist button on the right side of the page, as you can see. All you have to do is just simply click on that little Realist tax roll button. That's going to take you into the Realist record that is being pulled directly from the county. You go ahead and load that real quick. Slowly but surely. I think the internet hasn't had its morning coffee yet. Gonna give it a moment. There you go. All right, so that takes you straight to a property details page. We're going to cover this in greater detail once we jump into the actual Realist program, but I wanted to show you how you can jump into the MLS system, go directly into the property details. You can see the information on that property according to the multiple listing service. We also have integration directly from the county where I can see the owner's name, if they're occupying the property, as well as the tax billing address. And again, this is a report I can send to a buyer. It is going to include also information based on homes in the area. This is what we meant by the AVM. I can see the median home value in that area. Again, this zip code of 33138. The home selling in the middle of the market based on an 80%, 8 out of 10 score. Homes are selling roughly around at 913,081. We also have lifestyle information. Also total crime risk score information, trends in the area, and the school district as well. Further down, we also have information from the subdivision, including the listing area. Let me go ahead and let that person in real quick. And all of the information pulled directly from the county, including how much of the land has been improved, characteristics of the property, including square feet. And further down, we have information from the system. This is where we have that sell score. As you can see, it is at a score of 0 to 1,000. This is listed in the MLS. This is how powerful that the system is, the sell score. I'm going to go over what it is in a moment, but B, why it's important to jump into these programs to figure out the next set of homeowners that might sell. This system is on point. Again, it is listed in the MLS, and there is a prediction of very high that this homeowner was going to sell this property this year. Further down, we have a breakdown for this individual property based on its estimated value. As you guys can see from the real AVM, it's being priced specifically at 413,800. However, there is a range for properties selling in the area between 386,100 and up to 441,000 as well. So it is listed at 429. So we do have access to that Realist program. It is more or less on point. It's not too far off based on the price, and the confidence score is 93% as well. All right. Again, I'm going to break all of this down. This is just a quick little overview of the back end of the system. We can also see the estimated value of this property if the buyer was to potentially turn this into an income producing unit. They're showing the estimated value per month would be $3,282 as a possible lease price. Again, great information that is now available within Realist altogether. Again, this is whenever you pull up any property, it can be listed in the MLS or off of the market. We have access to the property details. In a little bit, once I go over the Realist dashboard, we're going to jump into also the options under market trends as well. This is where we can create reports based on that local area and tell that for sale by owner how much it would be of a benefit to work directly with the realtor in order to sell that property. So I'm going to highlight that in just a minute. All right. However, if you do want to jump into Realist, maybe you are in Matrix, you're going to notice at the very top of a Matrix, we have access to the Realist service right there at the very top, located here in the blue section. Alternatively, you can also access Realist directly from your gateway. Just do that little trick I taught you guys at Control F, Command F, type in the word Realist. It's going to take you directly into that service, as you can see. Now, when you first go into Realist, it's going to take you into your customizable Realist dashboard. So in order to have all of the information happening at county level based on the area that you serve, be sure to click here on the right side of the page. You're going to notice a little select county button. Give that a click, and then you would have the ability to select the county of your choosing. That way you can see how the market is pretty much performing as a whole for that entire county area. All right, so for example, I'm going to click on Miami-Dade. I have it here, but you can also add other counties. Let me go ahead and show that real quick. For example, we can add Broward, and once I add Broward, or if I made a mistake, meant to click on Broward, clicked on Brevard, you have access to deleting any counties that you have selected here on the right side, or you can simply click on clear selection to start all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click on apply. Excellent, excellent. And then from there, if I want, it is going to give me an overall understanding based on all of the markets that I have selected. But if I want to just see the data for one county, be sure to just select one. That way you just see the market reports based on what's happening just in that market. The more that you add for counties, the more you're going to see numbers change here under the quick stats. So I just switched it back to Miami-Dade, and it's letting me know based on the past 3 months that there has been a total closed sale count of 1,758. Now we're in a upwards trend right now. Again, within the whole county, we're up 14%. We do have a total of 2,775 properties that went under contract within the last 3 months. Now, this could be anything: single family home, a condo, a townhome, an apartment, etc. But we're seeing a healthy trend. We are seeing a lot more activity across the county versus the prior 3 months. We're up 18%. And we have a total active listing count currently at 12,426 active listings on the market in Miami-Dade within the past 3 months. As a whole, we have a total of months of supply, also known as months of inventory, of 6 across the whole county. But I want to make sure that I mention this is looking at all property types. That's going to include the current booming condo market, where we're seeing anywhere from 10 to 12 months of supply. And it's also taking into consideration the single family market, the townhome market that is currently trending, depending on the area, anywhere from 1 to 3 to some areas, 4 months as you go further down south within the Miami-Dade area. That's why we see an overall months of inventory 6 months. Currently, listings in the MLS for the Miami-Dade area currently have an average days on market of 61, and homeowners are getting more or less based on their asking price at roughly 97%. We also have access once we set this information up. We can also see the average sale price comparing back from April 2023 all the way through March 2024. And we can see the change in MLS sales activity as well countywide. We also can access any saved properties. Maybe you did a search directly in Realist. You found a property directly for your buyer. If you save it, you have access to anything that you've saved here, access to industry news being supplied directly from Inman, and also property market insight reports located here on the left side of the page. All right. You also have access further down to any property. Maybe you forgot to favorite a property, right? Sometimes we forget to do that when we're searching for a customer. Right here, you have access to any previous property that you've searched, and it does go back, I believe, 2 months. All right. Over here on the right, if you ever save a search, you do have the ability to save a search, including your search filters. I'm going to go over how to customize a search, set that up so you find exactly what you want. Any saved searches that you've created, you have access to those right here. All right. Without further ado, guys, what I want to make sure that we do today is, of course, jump into the Realist system. And I want to show you how you can customize your settings before you even begin searching. So, for example, you have the ability to create a CMA using the Realist program. Realist is kind of similar to IMAP in that you can set up your pre-settings whenever you're looking for properties for your client when you're creating a comparative market analysis. So you want to work smart when you're using these taxable programs. If they allow you to set up customized settings and you find the property that your buyer wants to purchase, or you're trying to create a CMA directly for your seller, you can go over to the right side of Realist and set up filters that will save you time whenever you're just doing a general search or whenever you're creating a comparative market analysis. So that's the very first place that we're going to go today. We're going to visit the top right corner where we have the little cogwheel, which is the settings button. I'm going to give that a click. And then when I do so, it's going to take me immediately into the back end of the Realist system. We're going to focus on this because this is where we set up those pre-configurations that will save us time so that we don't have to spend hours creating searches or coming up with comparative market analysis for our customer. So first, the very first place that it's going to take us is our preferences when it comes to search options. For example, you can automatically have the system. For example, you're doing a search and you only find one property or one listing. If you have this check marked, it will automatically take you into that property record versus taking you into your results grid. Also, when it comes to mailing labels, I would suggest to turn this on. Display mailing label addresses registered on the do not mail list. So as long as we turn that on, we will see a little notice if we're not allowed to create a marketing piece directly to that homeowner. Also, when it comes to sales transactions, guys, I'm going to be honest, don't do anything here. Just leave that on, because it will also include unmatched sale transactions and search results. You want to make sure that you keep that on. I'm going to go over why once we get directly into the report section. Further down, you can have a total of a maximum of 3,000 records available whenever you're searching. So if you want to do a mass mailer, I believe the system defaults to, I believe, 500 to 1,000. But if you want to do a mass mailer, maybe get 3,000 property owner records in order to create mailing labels, I would maximize my search results. How many I could see at any given time, up to 3,000. All right, if you do make any modifications to this section, be sure on the right side of the page to click on the Save Changes button. All right, moving down, we're going to go into reports real quick. This one's super duper important. Whenever you create a report, you do want to make sure that you create that dynamic report that's going to allow the potential customer to kind of click around and see additional information within the report that you send them. And when it comes to comparables, the minimum that you need whenever you're working directly with the seller or buyer, when you're creating a CMA, you just need 3, but you have the ability to set the number of comparables that are automatically generated within a search anywhere from 5 or up to 50. I just leave mine at 15, but I would say go ahead and change that to 50. That way you can see all of the like property in the area based on what your customer wants. It's just going to give us a lot more to filter through, double check, make sure that they're like property to that subject property. I have it at 15, but you guys can of course change it to 50. That way you maximize the amount of properties that show up whenever you're searching for a comparable. All right, further down, this one's super duper important. This is where we can set up our prerequisite filters whenever we're doing a CMA. I do suggest, guys, to sort whenever you're searching for comparable properties. Have it search and filter based on the living area of other properties in that area. Also, we want to make sure that we include property images of those comparative properties that we locate for our customer. This one's optional, guys. Include the valuation projected by assessment. I would suggest to turn that off. You can keep it on, but what that does is it's going to include an overall price of the property based on how much it's worth according to taxes, which is usually, I want to be very clear, usually less than what is decided at market value once the property is purchased. But again, that's optional. I turn it off. Further down, include value projected by square feet. We always want to make sure that we also include price per square feet. You never know. You might be working with an investor and they may want to know that information. Also, whenever you create a comparable on a property, you can also include Realist's average valuation module. Got a little tongue tied there. If you want to keep that on, turn that on. That's going to give a second price opinion on how much that property is worth according to sold listings in the MLS and also off market properties that have sold in the area. This isn't going to be one of those valuation modules that take into, third-party algorithms that are just looking at trends in the area. This is based on actual sold property, both from the MLS perspective and from the county. So it's not a bad thing. We did go over that earlier in that other property. It was near and dear close to the actual asking price that was listed in the MLS. I also do not suggest sorting your properties if you're doing a comparable, if they have a pool or not, unless you are, of course, an agent that, wholly sells pool style property. I would suggest to keep that off. Another thing to make sure to focus on is when you're looking at other comparative property, when you click that CMA button, it's automatically going to trigger, as you guys could see as we set up these filters, it's going to automatically find properties based on these sort methods. So it's going to focus on the living building area. And when we're looking at a property that's in an urban environment, I would suggest finding like property within a quarter of a mile or no more than half of a mile, I would say. My recommendation would be to switch this to a quarter mile. I am going to leave it at half a mile for the property that we use, but again, whenever you're looking at like property in an area, you do not want to look more than half a mile. I wouldn't make any modifications to any of these because, for example, maybe you're searching for a property directly for a customer, right? And maybe you're working with different types of customers that have different price ranges. Setting up these advanced filters may cause one of your customer reports to not become available. So I wouldn't suggest making any changes there. All right. Also, when it comes to comparables, guys, you can include or not include distressed property automatically when you're filtering. This is going to be up to you guys. Historically speaking, a property that sells as for example, short sale or a bank-owned property typically sells less than a non-distressed property. So you can include them, or you can just tell the system, hey, don't include those within the automatic CMA once it's created. So there are options here. All right, these, if you want to change this is going to be more focused, the tax distress, for those of you that work specifically for investors that just want to come up with an asking price for distressed property. All right, further down, we would also recommend these two right here are the most important. You want to make sure that your search time period, that you're only looking at properties that have sold within the past 3 months. However, be sure to go into the MLS. You do want to have access to that market report, that 1004MC report. Again, we do go over that specifically in the CMA workshop class. But if you guys want a real quick video of the 1004MC report, it is located on the main website, miamirealtors.com. There you go, /CMA. And what that can do is, for example, you're doing a comparative market analysis. You're going back 3 months, but you're only coming back with maybe one comparable in the area. Make sure that you watch the Miami leaders share the 1004 MC report tip. What that's going to allow you to do is see if your area has been more or less in the same market maybe 6 months ago. If your market's been in a strong, rigid seller's market for the past 6 months, you could technically go back an additional 3 months, meaning 6 months. But as a default recommendation, I would say only go back 3 months. And for living and building area, I would suggest to look at like property based on a 20% difference. So come over here, living building area, select percent difference. Make sure that you select for this one 20%. What that's going to do is as soon as you find a property, once you set up these advanced settings, the system will automatically find like property that have sold in the past 3 months, and they're more or less the same size based on the living area. And make sure that you come down to lot area and then also select a percentage difference of 20%. That way we find exact same style property. That way, if anyone steps into the comparable property, they can't feel a difference. So again, my recommendation for living and lot area, make sure that you select percentage difference for both of those at 20%. All right. So again, these are advanced settings that are going to save us time. Nothing to do here for land use. I would say leave that alone. Style. And there's another report that we can create. It is called the neighborhood report. Within the system, we can have the neighbors surrounding the subject property that we create the report for. We can have the neighborhood of homes in the area. I would suggest to show other like property in that area. If you do create the neighborhood report within a quarter mile of that property, I would only recommend showing the neighborhood only up to 5 properties in that area. Also, make sure that you're looking at like property in the same subdivision as well. Why do I say that? Most properties in the same subdivision are going to have the same architect, meaning more or less the same style. That is pretty much it within this section. I wouldn't recommend changing the neighborhood profile report unless you want to jump into the commercial side and only select very specific type of businesses. Again, all of this is going to make sense once we jump into the actual front end to the system. But you can come here, set up your prerequisites for business categories. You can also create a report that includes all of the schools in the area. You can also find schools from a distance up to 10 miles. You can focus on public schools, private schools, or both. And then you have your school categories right here as well. All right. That is pretty much it under the report section. Once you do set up your prerequisites, this is how you maximize automatically having Realist do a lot of the legwork for you. Once you make any modifications in this section, just be sure to click on the Save Changes button in the bottom right. All right. You also have the ability, as I mentioned, to send listings directly to your customer from Realist. So if you do decide to send listings directly from Realist, be sure to set up your email signature. Here's a nice little flow for the one that I made. I have my first name, brokerage, and my telephone number right there. Just keep it basic. All right, perfect. Once you're done, be sure to click on Save. All right, the final section that we're going to go over real quick is the map section. I do suggest to turn this on. So if you ever do use the map, just look at listings, you can see the actual border of the actual folio number, also known as the parcel, how big that property is. All right. Perfect. Another thing, this is a part of the upgrade within the Realist system. You can upgrade and include access to an additional option which is the value map. That's going to include trends in the area, the average rental prices in an area, and other customizations. But we're going to focus today on what's included. All right. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go into the main menu. All right. I'm going to go ahead and not save. I have my settings set up. We're going to go ahead and jump into search. And then this is the front end of the Realist system. Now, again, before you get started, be sure that you select the counties. Make sure that you include the counties that you want to search in. So, for example, we have all of the counties specifically in Florida. So make sure, maybe you're going from Miami-Dade and then you want to search within maybe Palm Beach or Broward. Be sure to come into the system and then add those counties here. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Palm Beach. as well. I'm going to move up real quick, and we're also going to add in the system Broward. That way, if I want to search for properties in these areas, both in the MLS and off of the market, I have access to those counties right here. All right, from there, I'm going to click on apply. All right, and there's two different ways to search in the Realist system. We have a quick search here, but what I would recommend, guys, I am a veteran for Realist. What I would suggest that you do is take advantage of all of the pre-filter types that are available under the My Search option. So I'm going to click on My Search real quick. All right, so once you click on My Search, you're going to notice a section here that says Saved Search. Click right there where you see Select, and then further down in the yellow sections, these are going to be search types that are already built into the system that I can take advantage of. So for example, I have a general search. I have an owner search. This is for those of you that like to create mailing labels. Maybe you want to find absentee owners, distressed property owners. We have the owner seller search available. If you want to jump into a MLS search, maybe for a buyer, we have pre-filters for MLS. For those of you that work directly with investors that like to find distressed property, meaning short sales, homeowners that receive their very first notice, which is at least pendants that they're behind on their mortgage payments. We can also select distressed property. All right, so I'm going to go over these defaults, and I'm going to show you where we can actually customize and create our own search, meaning the filters that we want to use automatically each and every time that we use the system. Now, on the right, real quick, I do want to make sure I mention on the right, you have access to your carts if you ever save listings directly to a shopping cart. You also have access to any of your orders that you created. Again, this is a part of the upgrade. If you want to have access to that market value report, and any properties that you have favorited, you have access to any property that you've favorited located right here. And then we were just here earlier, which is your settings menu in order to set up your prerequisites to save you time when you're searching in the platform. All right. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and jump into a MLS search. We're going to take advantage of the pre-filters that are available. We're going to come over here under select. We're going to move down, and then I'm going to click on MLS search real quick. All right, MLS search. And then here we are. We can search if we have a listing number. We can also search based on status. For example, if I want to look for active under contract, canceled, closed, coming soon, expired, etc. I have access to those filters here. All right, further down, I can search just like in the MLS based on a price range for my buyer. If I'm looking for a comparative property that's sold in an area, I can search based on sale date, sale price, the date that a property went under contract. I have pending, expired as well. If it was withdrawn, if I want to see when if I want to do a report on when a property was maybe changed, for example, if I want to see all the properties that came back on the market by doing active, I can select MLS status change. I can search by area, city, zip code. All of these are set up for us so we save time. Again, I can search within a complex area or subdivision, school district, and street name. So we're going to keep this super duper basic, guys. I'm just going to quickly look for a property in the Doral area. All right, I'm going to move up real quick. We're going to go ahead and select under MLS status. I want active. All right, perfect. And then we'll look at properties between. We'll start at 8. All right, perfect. Actually, now we'll leave the price range alone. Doral homes are going up in price a little bit. So we're just going to start with the prerequisite. We won't put a price. All right, the main goal, I want to show you what the reports that are available whenever you do pull up a property directly within the system. So again, I'm just going to select anything that we have here. I'm going to zoom in real quick. So this is the map, guys. Let me move my zoom bar real quick. This is the map. So if you do want to search using the map, we do have legends here that we can add, parcel information, if the property is under foreclosure, auction, there's bank-owned properties, short sales in the area. If you want to add those little buttons, these are legends letting you understand what's being filtered within your grid. For example, these are all active listings. If you want to add this legend, you're going to go up here where you see the little overlay button. You can add an overlay that's going to explain distressed properties. Like, for example, we have this one right here. This one is technically a short sale. The homeowners, it looks like they're trying to sell the property. looks like they're buying on mortgage payments. So we have access to understanding by clicking that button, all of these different search options here. So we also can see sales values, MLS status as well. It's going to explain what active means, pending, expired, once we do a search within that area. All right, so again, we have these pre-filters right here. We also have a trends graph as well. We can look at the median sell price within a given area. That's going to give me an overlay, as you guys can see. We're just going to go over this real quick. The median sell price of a given area, which is amazing. Sales activity, what area is the hottest that is seeing the most sales within a given area. Again, this is under trends. We also have the median square feet price. We can see the exact areas based on the heat map, based on the median square feet. And then we're going to have an option right here providing that. We also have aggregation level and property type. Again, great options. Okay, we're going to go over these in just a moment. What we're going to go ahead and do is click on any of the properties that we located. For example, I'm going to click on this one. All right. So when we set up under our settings, so for example, this is a property that our buyer wants to purchase, right? If we go into the settings and then we set up our prerequisites for a CMA, if I click on comparables, the system's automatically going to know to sort based on the looking at properties that have sold within the past 3 months, which is what I told it. Also looking at like property that have sold in the area based on the living area being 20% and lot size being 20%. And this is where we save time, as you can see. It's automatically going to sort. Once I click on comparables, it's going to automatically provide me with 13 like property in the area that I can sort through and make sure that they're great options within the comparable. All right, so further up, we have a sale price, the one that has sold at the highest based on the area, sold at 630,000. Property and properties that are sold within the middle of the prices in the area are at 440,000. We can also get an overall general understanding on the property that has the highest when it comes to price per square feet, access to the price per square feet for the property that is in the middle of our comparables. We also have access to the total market value, total assessed value, and then the assessed value ratio. Again, what this is, we always want these numbers to be high. The one in the middle is letting us know that one of the properties that we located here further down, it sold less than the market value according to how much it's worth at according to taxes. Let me be very specific. So anything less than 0.95, this one sold at 0.62, it means that that property may have needed some kind of repairs. Anything over 0.95, it means that the property sold much more than its taxed assessed value. And we may want to visit the property that sold there at the lowest. It's throwing off the comparable. There is one further down at the bottom of the page that did sell specifically at 289,587 that we may want to remove directly from our comparables. Let me move over real quick. All right, it's wanting us to review this particular property, and we may not want to include it directly within that comparable because it's throwing off the prices. And we may want to remove this one as well. This one sold at 630,000. If this subject property that we're looking at hasn't received necessarily any renovations, we may want to remove this one. Again, we have a class for this, guys. We have a class called CMA Workshop. We also have Matrix 301, where we go over CMAs in a greater detail. I'm just giving you guys general use if you're ever doing a search. And then we can remove a couple of those properties that we located as well from the overall comparative CMA that we've created. And that's going to actually change our overall understanding of that report. So if you do want to take advantage of the Realist CMA option that is available, be sure to click on the Generate Report button there. And this is a quick and easy way of creating a comparative market analysis report that we can either print, email directly to our customers, and then they're going to see all of the information pertinent to the CMA that we made. All right. Without further ado, I'm so happy to finally go over this section. Market trends is brand new within the Realist system. This is the section that I mentioned earlier to you guys. Whenever you're working with, for example, a for sale by owner, right? And they're hesitant about selling their property because they feel like maybe listing in the MLS, they may not get the full advantage of having the property sell at the highest. You can pull up market trends for any property at all. You just need to find any property in the zip code of your customer. And then what it does is it provides us with an overall understanding of the market in that area. And it's going to tell me exactly how the zip code 33178 is doing. It's going to let me know specifically that we've had a total of 63 closed sales currently within the 30-day period. We also have an average sell price, meaning properties that are selling from the top of the market, the middle, and the bottom. We have an overall average sell price for 33178, 616,752. We have a total active listing count at this time of 277. We currently have 64 is the average days on market for property in the area. We have an average price per square feet for property in the area at 306. And homeowners in Doral, specifically in the zip code of 33178, they are getting 98% of their asking price. All right, this is where it gets really fun. And this is where I can try to potentially convert that for sale by owner to list with me. So I can show them. I used to get this question all the time. How can I stress to a homeowner why it's important to try to have a realtor sell their actual property? I can show them two different data sets. So according to the month of April, we can see the month of April based on the trend of homes that sold in the area. According to the MLS, homes are selling roughly around at 689,388. Now, if I click on tax, our homeowner is going to see potentially if they go off on their own and sell the property. Once I create this report, I'm going to show you where to create it. I can provide them with a contrast of my opinion from the MLS's perspective and also from the county tax roll and how properties are selling from there. So the actual prior month, meaning this is April's figures, March of this year, homes are selling again steadily at 683,424. And if I want to compare March 2024 to March 2023, I can see that the market is booming right now. It has increased from last year at 10.3%. We also can see the average sale price going back from April 2023 through March 2024 from the county's perspective, from also the zip code's perspective. And we can also get information based on the average sale to original list price. So this is where we can reinforce to that homeowner that homeowners, once their properties are selling, again, in the zip code of 33178, they're more or less getting exactly what they want. Also further down, we have average price per square feet, both from the MLS and from tax, number of sales according to the MLS and tax. Now, tax is going to, of course, include MLS, so that number is always going to be higher. But we can say, hey, according to your local, according to the data, within 33178, we have a total of 46 out of 63 homeowners in your local area. They did use a realtor in order to sell the property. So it's all about how we position this report whenever we discuss it directly with our customer. We could also see the change in sales activity, both from the MLS perspective and tax. And this, again, guys, brand new. This just came out this year. It is the market trends report that's a part of Realist. I would use this in the scenario I'm working with a hesitant seller, or I would use this in the scenario that I'm trying to work directly with the for sale by owner in order to have them list with me. All right. So if you do want to, provide this report directly to your customer, there's this little print button. You can click on quick print. It's going to allow you to download it as a PDF. You just simply click on print again. And here's what's interesting about the Realist system. Make sure that you don't have your pop-up blocker blocking you, because it will block you whenever you create a report or when you create a mailing label. And we can easily provide this report directly to our customer. All right, just wanted to go ahead and show that real quick. All right, guys, we're going to keep going. So again, that is in any and every property that's available, both on the market or off the market. This button is a beautiful thing, the market trends report. So I did mention there is a neighborhood report. If you ever want to send a neighborhood report directly to a buyer, I'm going to click on that real quick. Again, I did have it automatically filter based on 5. I don't want to have my customer look at 50 different properties in that same subdivision, but Right here, they're going to have access to the surrounding neighbors in the area, including a sample of homes in that subdivision. I did sort it by subdivision. We can see the recording date, including when those properties sold, the current owners, the style of property as well. All right, guys. All right. Again, if you want to send that to your client, a neighborhood report, you have print and email right there. All right, we're going to keep going. We also have the overall full neighborhood profile report. This one's going to include as well demographical information based on that area, the estimated population, the population growth since 2010, the population density per mile, the median age, number of households. Again, all of this is based on the zip code 33178, household size per home, households with children, age demographics, gender information and status information. And this is what I love about the neighborhood profile. We get housing information. This is how I can quickly learn how to farm an area. Housing is my favorite part. So if I move down here, I can see the median home sale price is $414,500, has a high turnover rate of 22.65%, meaning there's a lot of real estate potential in the area. There is a total of 12.28% of homes are vacant, meaning there's no one living there. Meaning there's a little bit of a gap there where we might be able to convert those absentee owners, try to sell the property while we're still in the seller's market. We also have an ownership, which is low, of 42.11% for the zip code. A huge chunk of this zip code in Doral is renters. So again, it's how you look at the information. We almost have 50% of individuals in the area of 33178 that rent. I might want to create a mailing label, target those renters, and try to maybe turn them into buyers from there. Again, that's how we chop up and understand the data that's available in the report. We also have access to the fair market rents. This is going to provide us specifically for the zip code of 33178, how much a voucher for someone that is Section 8 approved, how much a voucher could potentially cover for this area. Again, there's a lot of information when it comes to Section 8 in particular. You want to make sure that you visit our advocacy section of our website by going to miamirealtors.com/advocacy, or do make sure that you take our Matrix 401. We do go over Section 8 in greater detail. So it's letting me know a voucher could cover $2,000 a month, one bedroom a little bit lower than that, two bedrooms, figure 3 bedrooms, and as well as a 4 bedroom as well. We also have quality of life as well as the workforce type within this report, household income, commute method. We're all going to be driving pretty much. Schools in the area. Again, I had mine select a bunch. Again, this is all based on your settings. So mine's showing a bunch of the schools in the area. Just make sure that you customize the middle schools in the area, private schools in the area, and their ratings and their gradings and the actual school grades, attractions in the area, including telephone numbers, should your customer want to call them, the banks in the area, eating. Again, this is all under the settings that we pre-set up, as well as local businesses, shopping centers in the area. If you do want to send this directly to your customer, you do have the ability to click on print and email from there. All right, there's also an assessor map of the area. Let me open that real quick. This is how we do get taxed, guys. This is the tax, as I call it, the assessor tax map. All right. If you do want to have access to that, you do have access to it right here. All right. Perfect. Okay. So that is, again, an overall of whenever you pull up a property, the main takeaways, guys, is that option to quickly jump into your settings. If you ever want to do a comparable, looking at the market trends report when I'm working directly with a seller that's hesitant. If I'm working with a buyer, I have access to the neighbors and the neighborhood profile report. All right, perfect. Okay, so we're going to jump into a search real quick, guys. We're going to jump into a search. And the next thing that I want to show you, should you ever want to come into the Realist system and generate mailing labels, for this one, we're going to focus on, we're going to say that we're going to target a condo building, and we're going to focus specifically on absentee owners that are not occupying those units, and then we're going to create a mailing label. So as I mentioned, always make sure that you visit the My Search option, because under saved searches, we automatically have pre-built search types for us. So if you want to create mailing labels, my recommendation is to use this one, owner seller search, because that's going to allow me to search if I have the name of the owner, if I have the mailing address, if I want to focus on, for example, absentee owners that are out of state, if I want to focus on those New York owners, if I want to focus on maybe Canada, there's a lot of folks that purchase out of Canada, or anywhere within the United States, I have access to all of those states right there. I can also search for foreign owners as well, based on country. This one can be a little interesting, guys. This can be a hit or miss. I'm going to be honest with you. I would suggest, if you're trying to find owners that have purchased outside of the country, be sure to take our Matrix 501, where we go over how to do that research in the MLS. I find that the MLS system does a better job of us locating those foreign nationals that purchase versus what's available in the county. All right, moving down, we can also search by phone numbers as well, property address. And then this is what I wanted to show you. If we want to focus on those absentee owners, we can go under owner occupied, and I can tell the system, hey, no, I don't. I want to make sure that they don't occupy the unit. That way, if they want to sell it, they can. This is important right now when it comes to condos, guys. There's we have anywhere between, as I mentioned earlier, 10 to sometimes 13 months of supply, depending on the condo market. We have a lot of sellers right now wanting to sell their condos due to, especially those older ones, due to assessment costs and association fees. They're trying to sell it because it's getting a little expensive in some of those condos. So again, we're going to focus primarily for this on the condo market, but you can do exactly what I'm doing in for single family homes, but we're going to focus on condos. I'm going to say owner occupied. No. All right. From there, what I want to do is I want to show you that you can customize a search and then add additional fields. So we're going to go here where we see customize search. And then I'm going to tell the system, hey, I want to search based on a subdivision. So I can come in here. I can add neighborhood if I want to search by neighborhood. I can also say, hey, I want to be very specific. I want to search based on the actual name of the subdivision or the name of the building. I can go ahead and select what I want to add to filter. And then once I add it, I click on apply. But if I want to remove anything, I have these little X's. If I want to start over, I have the clear selection button. I'm going to click on apply. All right. And then now further down on the page, I have now added, for example, seller name, neighborhood, and subdivision. So once I click on subdivision right here where it says select from list, I can say, hey, I want to search within a community, or I want to search specifically for all of the units in a building. So we're going to use just for this, the Axis towers. I'm going to type in Axis. I'm going to tell the system, hey, let's focus on both the primary Axis tower and the second Axis tower. I'm going to click right here, and then I'm going to click on apply. All right, perfect. So from there, again, what I went ahead and did is I told the system owner occupied. No, and I want to be very clear. Sometimes when you add additional search filters, when you click on customize, guys, sometimes the system will delete. It may delete whatever you selected. So just reconfirm. Like I did owner occupied earlier, it did remove it. Just go back, confirm, reselect it. All right. And then I'm telling the system, let's focus on these two towers. All right. From there, I'm going to go ahead and click on search. However, when you're searching in the Realist system, there is not a way yet to filter out those on-market properties. We never want to create a mailing label to someone that is already working with an agent. So what you want to make sure that you do in order to eliminate anything that's listed when you're creating labels, go to this little second arrow, click that. Click on it. All right. Slowly but surely. There you go. What it will do is put, once I click it, in green, anything that is currently active on the market at the top. It will also put anything that is sold, meaning that these properties have already sold in that building. What I can quickly do is unselect them. That way, if I create mailing labels, I do not send a marketing piece directly to these owners. That way, I do not break the code of ethics. All right. So from there, I can tell the system, hey, let's focus on unit 16. Rather unit number 1001, but listing number 16 in my search, all the way down to unit 3910, which is my listing number, my property number 78. So from there, there's a couple of different ways to export. Forgive me, guys, the Zoom bar, it gets in the way a lot. There you go. We have access specifically to exporting. This is if I want to customize and tell the system I only want what I want. If I just want the property address, if I just want maybe the legal description, I can go under customize report. That's going to allow me to tell the system what I want to export. I only want whatever I check mark from there. So that is more for my advanced users that want to generate maybe a CSV report that you may want to offload directly into a CRM, or you also have access to a quick report. All right, further down, you can also print. Once you set up your filters, you can also click on print in order to export. You can also email, as I mentioned, if you're ever wanting to send properties, including listings, to your client, you also have that email option. We could focus on providing them with a map and table option, and then that's going to give them all of the properties that is available that we selected. What we're here to do is we're here to create labels. So that's where we have this little button that says labels. Let me click on that real quick. So again, we're focused in this example on absentee owners. So what I'm going to suggest that you do is use mixed case. Whenever you're creating a mailing label, we never want to have everything in all caps. Based on the old tradition, at least what I remember back when I was in college, a while ago, we never want to put everything in caps. It sounds like we're yelling, right? So just use mixed case. But again, we're trying to send a mailer to absentee owners. So what we want to do is use the tax billing address. That way we actually send the piece of mail directly to the owner based on where they are. If we want to send the piece of mail maybe directly to the renters, instead, we would use the property address. That's what this search could provide us. From there, I want it to show the current owner. We can include, if we want, foreign addresses, meaning outside of the United States. And if there's an owner that owns multiple units in that building, we can also eliminate duplicate labels as well. All right, you do have a maximum of 5,000 records that you can generate at any time within the Realist system each month, and it does reset on the first of the month. So I just did a quick little selection of what's available. I have 63, but for example, maybe you want to only generate maybe the first 50 instead of all 63. You can select an export range, and let me move my Zoom bar again. All right. And then from there, you can say, hey, I only want the one out of the first 50. You can customize how many you generate from there. I am going to go ahead and use all remaining to export. I'm going to click on create, but one more time, guys, pop-up block. Make sure that your pop-up blocker is not on, and then this will provide us with mailing labels, as you can see, and it will include exactly where the owners are located. All right, perfect. Okay, one more search that I want to show you guys real quick, if you guys don't mind, is that sell score. So this is where we use the predictive analytics model and find the next set of homeowners that might sell their property within the next year. But if you go ahead and you take advantage of any of the search filters that are automatically available, and then you build on it like we did. We added, for example, the option to search based on neighborhood, subdivision. Be sure if you create your own search filters, make sure to save it. Click on save, and then you can, for example, name it. I'm going to go ahead and say that this is our absentee owner search. I can click on save, and then I have now saved my absentee owner search. I can go under my search filters. I can click on it, and I have access to it. Perfect. All right. So what we're going to go ahead and do, we're going to stay in the owner seller search. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add under customize search this time. We're going to add in particular that sell score option. Actually, it's already there. We actually are. Oh, I forgot. Hold on. This is a glitch. I teach as a troubleshooter. I just remembered something. Okay. Here's what's kind of weird about Realist. When you're wanting to add sell score, right? Let me go down real quick. You're going to notice that I can't click on it. Why is that? I teach as a troubleshooter. I just remembered why I can't click on it. If you can't click on sell score, what it means, and I don't know why it does this, it does it because I have multiple counties selected. I think what my personal opinion is, I think Realist, CoreLogic in particular, they're just trying to save some bandwidth, right? So we're going to focus on, we're going to go ahead and eliminate Broward, Palm Beach from the counties I selected. This is recorded, guys. Don't worry. I'm going to send you guys a copy of this recording towards the end of the day. Do not worry. I'm just going to select Miami-Dade, click on apply. It's so weird. I don't know if it's a glitch or if they did it with intention, but in order to get the sell score to work, you have to only have one county selected. All right, from there, I'm going to click on customize. And this computer's acting weird. Actually, let me try to refresh it. And go back into search. I think my screen kind of froze. All right, perfect. So I'm going to go back into that saved search that we were doing earlier, owner seller search. All right, I'm going to customize. Now I can click on sell score. So that is, again, something to pay attention to. I'm glad that happened. And I remembered the solution. I'm going to go ahead and click on sell score, click on apply. All right, perfect. Now, again, the easiest way to do this is, again, using that owner seller search. What I'm going to go ahead and do is tell the system, hey, let's focus on, let's find the next set of homeowners that might sell specifically in the area. Actually, no, it's the wrong one. Real quick. Let's select, oh, I don't have zip code. Let me go ahead and add that real quick. So again, customize search. Let me add that real quick. I thought it was there already. Let's go ahead and move down. Let's add in specific zip code. We're going to focus on owners in that zip code that we've been working on so far today, 33178. Again, what we're doing is we're using a form of AI. It's called predictive analytics. We're going to find those next set of homeowners in the zip code of 33178 that might sell. All right, so we're going to look in this area, and then the sell score in this system is a little bit different than Remind. It's a little bit different than Remind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the difference. In Remind, if you use sell score, it just says high, medium, and low likelihood of selling. This one's based on a numeric margin. So I'm going to go into the system and say, hey, find me the homeowners that might sell at 80%. That's going to be typing in, should be under 800. And I'm going to say up to 1,000, meaning 80% or up to 100% sure that these homeowners might sell. I'm going to click on search. Slowly but surely. We're just going to give it a second. And it's going to use that predictive analytics. You do the sell score and then find me homeowners. There's a lot, over 3,000 in the area that might sell their property within the next year. So I'm going to go ahead and click on show first 3,000. All right. Make sure you always sort by status, because the proof is in the pudding. There's already a lot of homeowners in the area that have listed, as you guys can see. All right. We also do not want to, I mean, you can, the purple means expired, but they might be working with another agent. We would want to try to focus. If we come down, scroll down a little bit, and then we're going to find those units right here that have recently sold, meaning there's sold data available. If we keep going down, we should be able to target potentially some of these homeowners. So again, how this sell score works, it is letting me know that some of these are under distress, right? But we would want to focus on any of these that are not in the MLS, potentially anything that is under sold. It doesn't mean that it recently sold. It just means that there's recorded history within either the MLS system or it has, or from the public record that it has sold recently. All right, again, that is the sell score option. It is up to 1,000. I just used a quick little filter from 800 up to 1,000 using the zip code of 33178, guys. All right. Thank you guys so much for coming in, allowing me to go over all of the amazing benefits of Realist, guys. Again, the trick when you use Realist for a CMA, you're searching for a customer, save time, go in the top right corner where you see the settings button. Make sure that you set up your prerequisites because that is how we save time in order to create those reports, how we can automatically have the system do the legwork and find like property in a given area. That is the biggest takeaway, not to mention the market trends report, as well as the neighborhood profile report that we can provide directly to a customer, guys. Again, thank you so much for coming in.